Today I'm going to be answering one of the most fundamental and serious question that the human race has to deal with, and that is whether we need detergent if we have a high power pressure washer. And so I'm going to be doing an experiment where I'll be cleaning 5 footpath slabs with only the high power pressure washer being 2300 psi, and it's a Karcher K5 in case anyone's interested. And for the second part of the experiment, I'm going to be doing the exact same thing, except I'm going to be spraying detergent on the 5 concrete slabs before cleaning said slabs. And I want to be answering 2 questions out of this. Does it actually make a difference when you have so much mechanical water force that's pushing all the gunk away? And for the second part of the experiment, I'm going to be revisiting these footpath slabs approximately about 1.5 months later, and I'm going to be looking to see if there's a different result as far as how long the footpath stays clean for. But let's get right into it. And now, as for the settings of the experiment, I did wet both lots of concrete slabs before doing the actual experiment, just to give it all a bit of a level playing field. So anyway, let's get into the first part of the experiment. And so this is using just the water and the mechanical force of the water. And to clean 5 footpath concrete slabs, it took me 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Now, let's see how long it takes if I were to decide to use detergent. So with the detergent, I spray all across the concrete slabs, and then I hit it in the exact same way that I did the previous 5 slabs, but now there's actually detergent sitting on these slabs. And so if you're only including the time that I was using the K5, it took me 3 minutes and 52 seconds to get a virtually identical result. But if you're including the time to spray the detergent on the slabs before using the K5, that brings the time up to 5 minutes and 6 seconds. And so with that, we can now go into the results of the first part of the experiment. And that being, does it make any difference for being able to actually clean all the mess off? And as far as cleaning all the mess off, I'd say that detergent does not make a difference. It pretty much came off equal time frame. It was like slightly quicker, but then that slightly faster advantage of being able to get all the mess off is made redundant by the time that you had to spend spraying the detergent all over everything. And this footage here is basically straight after the pressure wash. And as you can see, you pretty much can't tell the differences between the 5 slabs. But now we'll fast forward in time to 1.5 months in the future. Now, if you look at these footpath slabs, you'll notice a very slight difference, whereas the slabs where I used detergent still have the original super bright clean feel, whereas the ones that I didn't use detergent for, it still looks clean, but then when you compare it to the slabs where I did use detergent, and you notice that it's slightly darker and slightly grayer, and this is only after 1.5 months, and so this result is going to basically amplify in the coming months. And so as far as the results of the second part of the experiment, yes, detergent is important as far as being able to keep the porous surface that you cleaned cleaner for longer. Trace amounts of the surfactant actually remain behind in the concrete despite all the efforts of your cleaning effort to clean it all off. And with these trace amounts of surfactant that are embedded in the concrete, it actually inhibits the growth of fungal spores, mold, moss, and all the alike. Furthermore as well, it leaves concrete in a slightly alkaline state, which also makes it very hard for these organic stains to actually bond to the concrete surfaces. And so that's why this makes the difference. And then with that being said, you can ask the legitimate question as to say, well, why don't we just use the pressure washer by itself just to get all the original mess off, and then actually just spray on a very light coat of detergent on the driveway after you're finished to inhibit its growth? And to answer that question, absolutely, yes, you can do that. And after researching this topic in a bit of depth and doing my own little experiments, this is actually what I personally will be doing in the future as well. But with that being said, I'll just mention a quick caveat as well, and that is that you want to be using the right type of detergent if you were to be doing this. Say for example, if you're to be using a chlorine-based cleaner, you might find that you're accidentally actually bleaching the concrete. So that's something that you definitely want to avoid doing. And so the simple things to look for is just to look for it reduces resoiling, and it also provides wind and weather protection. And so if it advertises features like this, you can absolutely do the strategy where you just spray it on by itself after you've done the pressure washing.